everyone, my name is Savannah Lohr. I'm the Archives and Education Director for Jackson County Historical Society, and today we're going to give you a little insight on what curators actually do, because we miss you guys a whole lot, and since you can't come into the museum and see what we're doing for you, we thought we'd answer some questions about what we actually do, kind of behind the scenes.
Okay, and behind the scenes is Caitlin Eckerd. I am the Executive Director of the Jackson County Historical Society, so I will be asking Savannah some questions today. So first off, Savannah, what is a curator?
So what museum curators really do is they put together kind of the exhibits that you see. That's the most basic kind of explanation of my job. But I'm really trying to tell stories about the objects that we have to share with you guys. So you know the history of our community. You might find some great new stories about some of the stuff we didn't even realize could tell a great story. So that's part of what I'm doing as a curator.
You said that you're the archives director, so what's the difference between an archivist and a curator?
So the archivist's main job is to protect the objects. I'm here to make sure that they stand the test of time. And as a curator, I want to show you those objects. So a lot of my job is kind of battling those two things where I really want to protect the objects, but I also want you to see them and tell great stories about them.
What do museums do for our community?
Museums do a lot of things. I mean, for one, they are a physical space where you can be and learn about your community. They're also really great ways for us to tell our own stories. So if you want to donate materials to us about your own history, about the people that live here, about relatives that you know, we are also a great place to figure that out. We're also just a place that we want to protect your identity and we want to tell the story of our region.
What do museum curators do? You kind of already answered this, but can you go in a little more in depth?
Sure. So curators, we wear a lot of different hats. So the first thing that we really do is make the museum friendly to you guys. We put the things out there. We make sure everything's being cared for in a way that you can still see it over and over and over again without them deteriorating. So we essentially create the museum as you see it. We also create really fun exhibits. So most people don't know, museums probably only display about 2% of what they have. So a curator's job is to look at everything that's out in the museum and decide, is this actually telling the story I want to tell or not? And we get to move things around, and that's really what I do. So I pick the objects for the exhibits, I write the exhibit panels with help from the amazing Caitlin behind the camera. I also, make sure when we go into the museum that the flow of everything is all right. So does this table actually need to be in this spot, and can you guys move around the room okay and see everything? So that's part of my job too.
What is one thing you wish more people knew about museums and exhibits?
That we want to tell stories that are important to you. I think one thing I really wish people knew about history in general is that it doesn't have to be just about facts. We want to tell stories. We want to tell things that get you excited and show you really amazing objects that get that point across. So you guys can be involved in the process too.
Since working at the Jackson County Historical Society, what object on display is your favorite and why?
Ooh, that's hard. I really love when we get to put up a lot of the dresses and stuff and the clothing that we have on display. So we have a purple Civil War dress on display right now. That's probably one of my favorites. And mainly because purple back in the 19th century during mourning could also symbolize kind of the late stages of mourning. So if you guys don't know, during kind of the Civil War and a little bit after, they had these formal stages of mourning, which means if somebody in your family died, your clothing reflected that. So you wore black for a period of time, and then for very kind of special important things, you could fade out those colors into purple. And wear that to let people know that you were still in mourning. So I think it's a really cool piece.
Cool. That's one of my favorite dresses as well, because my favorite color is purple though. What exhibits are you working on right now that are coming up at the 1859 jail?
Oh, that's amazing. It's probably one of my favorites that we get to put together so far. So we're working on fashions of the 1920s. So that's coming up shortly. So we're going to pull some pieces that we have kind of stored away that nobody has seen in a very long time. We're also going to be probably showing off a lot of the great images that we have from the 1920s in our collections too. So when we open again and that comes up, please stop by because it's going to be pretty great.
All right. Is there anything else you want to add, Savannah?
I just want to tell everybody that the museums are really here for you. We're working towards trying to still tell these stories even though we can't physically be with you right now. So we hope you guys enjoy all these videos for Virtual Museum Day. And you get kind of something out of it because we really wanted to share our resources and our stories with you.
All right. I think that's all the questions I have for now. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you face to face very soon.